Today in this video, I want to share with you a concrete example of one of my very good friends who during this pandemic, actually managed to get a salary increase of 100%. Yes, 100% from $40,000 to $80,000 per year. In this video today, I want to share with you the experiences of my friend in as much detail as possible, how he did it, how he got that 100% salary increase, and the 3 things that you need to know if you want to make that happen for yourself as well. So who will this video be relevant for? It's for those of you who want a significant, meaty salary increase, and by that I mean a salary increase of at least 50%, 70%, or even 100%. And this video will be especially relevant to those of you who are currently in a junior to mid-level management stage. If you're still at a level where you're earning something around $40,000, $60,000, then there is still a lot of room for a salary increase. But if you're already at a mid-upper or even senior management level and you're already earning, let's say, $120,000, $150,000, then you can imagine that at that point it will not be possible to realize 100% salary increase in one go. A little disclaimer up front. For those of you who have been watching my videos for a while, you might know that my channel is actually not about climbing the corporate ladder. It's not about chasing, going after the next promotion, getting the next salary raise. This channel is about so much more. It's about figuring out what it is that you truly love doing. It's about finding out what the best possible career for yourself is and how you can get there. Well, then you might ask, why make this video then? Why make this video about trying to achieve this astronomically high salary increase? And the reason is because I realized from my own experience that even though you have this vision for your ideal career, you have these long-term goals, sometimes in the short term, in the medium term, you just need to hang in there. If you're going to be an employee anyway for the next 5 or even 10 years, then at least don't leave any money on the table. By the way, if you're not subscribed yet and you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button. And in that case, please do me a favor and go down to your notification settings and make sure that it's set to all notifications so that YouTube will notify you of each and every single upload. Now let's get back to the story of my friend who managed to get 100% salary increase. So this is what happened. My friend went through a major career change. He used to work in the financial industry for quite a long time, around 10 years or so, but then he decided that he wanted to go into the film industry. He even went back to school for a year and got himself a postgraduate certificate in film and television business so that he could more easily get a foot into the door in the entertainment industry. And after a few internships, he finally got his first full-time job as an accountant at a film production company. And although he already had a lot of experience in the financial industry and he was also a producer of his own feature films, still he kind of had to start from the bottom again. The position he got into was a bit above an entry-level position, and the company paid him $40,000 per year. And in the beginning, he was pretty happy. I mean, after all, he just changed his career. But then, because he was a very fast learner, he did a very good job, and his boss, his supervisor, was very pleased with his work. Naturally, he did expect that he could get a salary increase in the coming 6 months or latest 1 year to come. But unfortunately, that never happened. He raised this to his boss time and time again, but the salary increase never happened. And then the pandemic hit and it became totally out of the question. Being tired of this, but also because he felt that he spent too much time at this company already and he kind of maximized his potential over there, he thought that now it would be a good time to look out and move to another company. So he started applying to many jobs. I think he applied to at least 10 jobs or even more. And the interesting thing was that because he always made it a point to keep his LinkedIn profile up to date and polished, there were even some headhunters who contacted him first and asked him whether or not he was interested to apply for a certain job. So long story short, in the end, he got 2 hot leads. And what I mean by hot lead is that he already got interviews with 2 film companies, and with both of them, he already got to the second interview stage. So he already got to the point point where they were talking about concrete salary expectations. The only catch was that, well, one job was here in Toronto where he was living, the other job was in another city in Vancouver. And because he wanted to stay in Toronto for the time being, he actually did prefer one job to the other. But the good thing was that at least he had two options now. So in that way, he was no longer fully dependent on his current company at that time, which only paid him $40,000 per year. And then some negotiating happened with the company in Toronto, and he managed to get a salary of $80,000. And you might think, wow, how did that happen? How did he get from $40,000 to $80,000? Something is off here. And don't worry, I will break this down for you after this. Learning from my friend's experience of how he got from $40,000 to $80,000 per year during this pandemic, there are three takeaways, three things that you need to know if you want to make this happen for you as well. Before I continue, if you found this video useful so far, then do hit the like button. That will definitely help the YouTube algorithm to push this video out to more people. So now I want to go into the three key takeaways, or the three things that you need to know if you want to make a significant salary increase happen. But first, I just want to make something really clear to avoid any misunderstandings. Of course, any salary that you're asking for has to be within a reasonable range, which means, for example, that if you're working in a retail job that pays you $22 per hour and the range for retail jobs is between, let's say, $20 to $25, it is unreasonable to expect that you can get 100% of a salary increase in the same type of position. So now finally, let's get into the three things that you need to know if you want to get 100% salary increase. The first thing that you need to do is that you need to actually fill a market gap. You need to find a specific job role or position which is currently in high demand. That job role has to be in an employee's market. And what I mean by this is that the demand by companies for this kind of job role for a person with these and these specific skills and experiences is larger, and even much larger than the supply, the people that actually have these skills and experiences. And that is what my friend did. At that time, there was a very high demand for experienced accountants in film production. The film industry is a very large industry with many different roles. Had my friend tried to go into a more creative role instead, for example, film production or development, then his chances might not have been that great. Why? Because in the film industry, everyone wants to get into the creative side of the business, but not many people want to get into accounting. There are many accountants who are not really aware that there is this market gap that needs to be filled. And because the film industry at that time was so desperate to find accountants with a background in film production, my friend was a very strong contender. Because the demand for accountants in the film industry was so high at that time, my friend was in a very good position to negotiate a high salary for himself. The second thing that you need to know if you want to realize 100% salary increase is that you already need to be at a point where you are actually undervalued. And there are two ways that you can be undervalued. The first one is that you are being undervalued by your company. So one way that you could be undervalued by your company is that your current salary is already below the market range. Like in the earlier example of my friend, he was the kind of person who already had the kind of skill and experience that could easily get him at least $50,000 out there in the market. And the other way that you can be undervalued is that you are being undervalued by yourself. So sometimes you are really your worst enemy. And this means that when you look at your skills and at your experiences, you are actually already on an upward trajectory. But the position you're in and the pay that you're getting is lagging behind very badly. And this could simply happen because over these years, you simply didn't realize that you are seriously due for an upgrade. So a significant salary increase of 50% or 100% can only happen if you are undervalued to begin with. So like for my friend, it wasn't the case that he was suddenly earning 100% or more, but the thing was that he was undervalued to begin with, and his salary and position was lagging so far behind his capabilities and his potential. So getting to that 100% salary increase was more about getting to a state of equilibrium rather than realizing a crazy out of this world salary increase. And the third thing that you need to know if you want to realize a 100% salary increase is that you need to have options. And in this case, it's very similar to house buying. If you look at houses and you're deciding whether or not to buy a house and then you're negotiating, the seller of that house will be able to smell from far away how desperate you are. They will be able to easily see whether or not that one house is the only option that you have and whether or not you've already fallen in love with that house head over heels. And if that's the case, then you will be squeezed. And the same thing goes for jobs. If you don't have any other options, if your only option is the one job that you're at now or that one job offer that you're currently negotiating, you won't have a lot of leverage. So the reason why it worked out so well for my friend and why he got that 100% salary increase was because he in fact had another option. He was about to leave his current company, which only paid him $40,000, but at the same time he had two hot leads. Remember what I told you about at the beginning of this video? He had one interview with a company in Toronto and another interview with a company in Vancouver. In fact, he was already at the second stage of interviews with both these companies, and they were concretely talking about salaries. So because my friend didn't only have this one option, this one company, but also this other company in Vancouver, it made him very comfortable and relaxed negotiating because he knew that if he didn't get this one, he had a very good chance with the other one. If you have options, if you know that you can leave things on the table and walk away, you will be a much more confident negotiator. And the person that you're negotiating with, for example, the HR manager of the company, will be able to sense that. It is something that is very difficult to fake. If you only have one option and you come across as desperate, then it will be very difficult to get that salary that you want. So is my friend happy with all of this? You think this might be a stupid question, but actually it's not. I mean, yes, he's of course happy about the salary raise. I mean, 100%, $40,000 to $80,000 is a lot of money, but it also comes hand in hand with more work and more expectations, and he is working a lot more hours than he did before. So net, is he better off than before? He thinks he is, but oftentimes he also sighs in exhaustion about the long working hours. So getting a significant salary raise, 50% or 100%, is not impossible at all, as long as you keep in mind these three things that I just talked about. But the most important thing is to make sure that you actually want it. Hey, if you enjoyed my content so far and if you want to support this channel, you can do so by either hitting the like button, leaving a comment down below, or you can even buy me a coffee through the link in the descriptions below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.